It's one of the most impactful animated series of the 90s, and it's back, baby. That's right, today we're taking a look at Wave 2 of the X-Men animated series. We got Cyclops, Jean Grey, Nightcrawler, Magneto, Goblin Queen, and Executioner. I don't know who that dude is, but we're gonna find out eventually. Now, this channel hasn't had a chance to review Wave 1 yet, but we're gonna do that a little bit later on because you're here for Wave 2, and we're gonna do that as soon as we play that intro. I don't know why I was doing this, just play the intro.
Oh, baby.
Now, if you're over 30 like myself, your introduction to the X-Men was probably through the X-Men animated series, which ran from 1992 to 1997 and ended up with a good enough finale that left the door open for a possible other season. And hey, we're finally getting it, and we're getting figures from that line, which is awesome. Now, Wave 1 started off strong with Magneto, Wolverine, Gambit, Rogue, Storm, and Bishop, but we did have some X-Men missing for that roster, one of those being Scott Summers, which we got right here in Wave 2. All these figures come on that classic card back. We get a little sneak peek at the animation and character design, and on the back it shows everything you get in Wave 2. Now, growing up, Wolverine was one of my favorite characters, and he was always butting heads with Cyclops because they both had a thing for Jean Grey. And hey, I'm loyal to my friends, so Cyclops wasn't one of my favorite characters until I grew up, started reading the comics, and realized, hey, Wolverine was kind of out of line for pushing up on Cyclops' girl, and he was kind of an a-hole. So as an adult, Cyclops really grew on me, and he's one of my favorite characters. Now let's take a look at him. We get a nice animated sculpt. The face that comes on the figure has kind of a smirking face, and it's a good combination between a realistic and a toon style for the face. You get good sculpt for the hair. The body's a nice vibrant blue. Best part, it's a pinless figure. You get some good articulation, nice T coming up, kicks back a lot. You get some rock in the ankle. Good design on the belt, comes all the way around. And you got that classic X on the belt and on his little shoulder strap thing here, which is a very difficult way to carry around a communicator. I personally would have just had a button right here, but hey, Bluetooth wasn't invented yet. There's no cell shading on this figure, which I'm kind of good with that because after those McFarlane Batman from last year, cell shading, I'm kind of done with that for a little bit. You get these open palm hands that come on the figure. You get this pointy hand, or a hand that you can use for whenever he's making a blast, or it's a very suggestive hand that might be the reason why Jean's with him and not Wolverine. We get these two fists, this blast effect, and an extra head for that blast effect. It has a slit in there. You're able to slide that effect right in there. And now you have Cyclops using his powers and blasting, and it's probably how I'm going to display him on my shelf. This wave has some bad guys. Get this guy, the Executioner. I don't know who that is. He wasn't in the original series, so we're going to have to watch the series and find out. I tried looking up some backstories in the comics. Didn't find anything, but if you guys know, let me know in the comments. Even though I don't know who he is, this character design is really cool. You got this trench coat that's on him. You got this thing hanging down here. I'm sure this plays some type of significance for him. Maybe it's his blankie that he grew up with and he holds on to. I don't know. I got a kid. Kids are really into blankies. The sculpt and everything on here is really cool. This FOH. The belt itself has good detail. It has his extra packs for the extra stuff he carries around, kind of Batman style. Really sturdy, pinless, clean look on the figure. Shield right here is really a hard plastic. This side's a little bit more pliable. They don't interfere too much. He gets a nice T. Does get a lot of kickback right there. There's a slit in the back of the trench coat, so you are able to do that. He doesn't come with any extra hands. You only get this pair of hands that come on the figure, which are slightly open gripping hands, because you get these two baton things that come with it. One has like a little pointy edge on it. The other one's more like a British cop. You also get this jetpack looking thing, which I don't know where the heck it goes because he has nowhere to put this. So not sure how this attaches on in any way or what this is for. We'll find out when the show comes out. The accessory that is really cool is this gun right here. You get a lot of nice detail. They put some protective plastic over it, which you can probably just keep on it or take off. It's up to you how you want to utilize that. As you can see here, it has a little peg and he has a hole in the back. So I'm assuming that's where this will go. Maybe you want the butt end of the gun pointed up, or you want the barrel. It's really up to you how you put it. Pretty cool figure. Don't know who he is. Let's move on. We have this Jean Grey figure here, which I'm excited to have an updated version of. I like the design of the figure itself. These shields are here, a little bit pliable. They're movable. They're able to come up here. She has nice T articulation. You got the mold of these shields that are on her arms. I'm really digging the face mold on this character. It looks really good for a Jean Grey. She's pinless. She has this ponytail hair, which has some articulation, and it comes off. I didn't know that. Okay. It's able to move around, and it doesn't impede articulation of her head too much or anything like that. She has nice kickback on her legs here. So you're able to get some good flying poses out of it. And here's the kicker, no pun intended. These legs are solid. If you got that VHS version of Jean Grey from the animated series, then you know her legs are a little wobbly and kind of buttery. Like the plastic on this figure is really just kind of wonky. Also, take a look at the face sculpt. This new updated version of Jean Grey has such a better look. This Jean Grey is more the butterface version of Jean Grey. Even the design of her suit's a little bit different. Like her belt here is molded on, where this one's kind of movable, pliable. But if you look at her armbands are a lot more sleek. So if you were wondering, gummy legs are gone. Jean Grey is an improvement. Yay. She comes with a fist and kind of a dynamic hand with her 2 fingers splayed out there. She also comes with an extra pair of hands, both with open palms. We don't get any effects for this Jean Grey, but we do get an extra head sculpt where her hair is down. Moving on, we got the Goblin Queen right here, aka Madeline Pryor. The Goblin Queen is and isn't a clone of Jean Grey, depending on which point in the comics that you read. I think updated now, it is a clone of Jean Grey that Mr. Sinister created. That's why she has that red hair, kind of looks like Jean Grey, until her skin is a little bit more of a purple color because she's empowered by the dark spirits. Not today, not up in here. Her articulation is pretty good to get a little bit more out of a T, so you can get a pretty good flight pose out of her. And you also have this cape, which is on the back of her. It is just hard plastic, which I'm not hating on. I didn't expect soft goods for these things, but it does have a little bit of articulation of its own. Maybe you can get a flight stand behind it so you can hide it just like that. Face sculpt on this figure, also very nice. I don't know who does her makeup, but it's pretty good. They did a good job. Maybe we should watch some YouTube tutorials. YouTube's pretty good. You can learn a lot. She does have some heels, so I'm not sure how well she'll stand on her own, especially with the weight of this cape. She won't stand. Actually, you just use the cape for a stand. Just lean her back on the cape. Maybe. She comes with the extra pair of fists. She does get some effects. You get these green effects to put on her, show her working her magic or whatever she does. We'll find out in the series. And you get this baby. More than likely, this is baby Cable, because in the comics, like, she's the actual mother of Cable. So I don't know if they're going to continue that into the series, because there was footage from the trailer where Jean's pregnant. So I don't know how they're going to play that out exactly. In the comic book series, this is Madeline Pryor's son. Madeline Pryor and Cyclops were also married at some point, which is how Cable was made. If I gotta explain how that happened, you're on the wrong channel, buddy. Hit subscribe and get out of here. We'll see how it plays out in the 97 series. I'm pretty sure more than likely Jean Grey will end up being the one that's pregnant, then Goblin Queen will just steal the baby. We'll see what happens. Let's move on to my second favorite character, which is Nightcrawler. I really dug Nightcrawler in that original animated series because I grew up a Catholic kid. He was Catholic. It was good representation for myself. There was no Mexicans on the team, but I dig this dude. I really dig this hair sculpt, which is one thing I think this line is doing really well with, like, hair, which I really dig hair. I grew up watching Full House. Uncle Jesse was one of my favorite characters. I dig a good head of hair, which this guy definitely has on here. You get that blue shading on the hair, which I don't know if that's part of his mutation or he's just trying to keep up with the times. I mean, 97 wasn't really a lot of people with blue streaks. Today, it's everywhere. Just go to a Starbucks. Shoulder pads are really good, but you still get a lot of articulation out of him. You get a Y pose out of him, actually, so his articulation is really great. You got his tail here, which is on a ball joint, so you do get a little bit of articulation out of it, so you are able to bring it up, move it around. Adds to the dynamic poses you're able to do. You get a lot of crunch out of him moving forward, a lot of crunch moving back. This really is a character that you're gonna need this articulation on. I'm glad they gave it to us. I mean, it's a really good character. It's really pliable, movable. I feel like I'm messing with like a Spider-Man. So Hasbro's really impressing me with this line so far. You do get a second head, which is more of a grinning face that's on here. He's a stern dude, so the face that comes on is a little bit more stern and stoic. And he comes with the extra pair of fists. Moving on to last bad guy slash good guy, because Magneto in this series is probably gonna do like he did in the comics and become a good guy, because as we learned in that trailer, he's taking over for Professor X. This is a suit in the comics that he had on when he took over for Professor X. The thing that stands out to me the most is this face sculpt. Great sculpt on the hair here. It does hide into this little hood that he has right here, which without the cape just makes him look like he's a really stylish guy and he's wearing a scarf. This face sculpt reminds me of like an old Kevin Sorbo, the dude who played Hercules in the 90s. Loved Hercules, loved Xena Warrior Princess. I'm showing my age. We're not here for that. Really good articulation. You get that T, this ball joint right here is really good, so you're able to move it around. The shirt right there moves around with it, and it's painted. Here's the thing, I've been doing a lot of Dragon Ball SH Figuarts figures, and they have this same type of articulation and ball joint. Whenever you move their figures, you see their skin, and this is how SH Figuarts should do it. It's just be able to just paint the shirt on there. like mold the shirt onto the arm and paint it, because this is really good. I really like this. This is how toy companies should do these ball joints. The cape does come off, so if there's points in the show where he does have a cape off, like, you're able to take it off. Take a look at this second head, which is once again Kevin Sorbo with the grinning face. I really like this old man with long white hair look. I think I'm gonna do that when I get older. I'm just gonna grow my stuff out. As long as I still got this hairline, I think it's gonna be a good look. It's really awesome that you get that second head with this Magneto, because with this Magneto from the first wave, you don't get a lot. Like the molding of the face isn't as striking. You get this more classic version of Magneto though, with the helmet on there. You get the pair of hands that come on the figure, and then you get 2 fists, and that's it. Which if you collect the Marvel Legends line, you probably already got a ton of Magnetos. This is the first Magneto I got. I'm only into the animated series really. I love the comics, but I'm not gonna let myself get into that line because that's a rabbit hole I'm not going down. So if you got wave 1 and you didn't get wave 2 because you weren't into the design of this wave 2 Magneto, one reason you might want to change your mind is because of this extra head sculpt. If you haven't got the wave 2 yet, I'm gonna leave some links down in the comments below. If I find any for wave 1, if they're still available, I'll leave those down in the description as well. But it looks pretty sweet with this extra head sculpt on here. So that brings us on to wave 1 of X-Men 97. Now, if you don't want to watch it because you've already seen the figures before and want to be a b-hole and skip ahead, go ahead. Just first, make sure you hit that like button or subscribe button. You're gonna miss out on some entertainment, some good jokes probably. But hey, we want to build this team and see what it looks like all together. So let's go ahead and get to the first character, most people's favorite character, this homewrecker, Wolverine. The character comes with this maskless head on the figure, which is really nice. Once again, great detail, great sculpt for these faces. I'm really impressed with Hasbro's sculpting on this. The hair, once again, is really awesome. You get that classic tiger stripe Wolverine. His shields move up and down, which I'm not sure why, because his articulation isn't all that great. You get less than a T from this guy. But hey, he's a bulky figure, maybe that's why. And he's made out of adamantium. That stuff's pretty heavy. He's like constantly working out and lifting, bro. Now he does come with this piece here, which is his mask. Place it around his neck. And then you got that awesome look with his hood off. You got his mask where he has a stoic face. Here he is next to the VHS cel-shaded version of Wolverine. Kind of torn between cel shading and no cel shading. Kind of like it. It just speaks more animated series to me. There is a thigh swivel, but it's very well hidden. Like if you have it in place, you can't really see it. Here it's pretty prominent that it does exist. So definitely upgrade, definitely worth having another figure. Even just the way they did the claws, like these claws seem a little bit more bendy and less durable. Their spacing on the claws is really good too. Like these claws just come out, there's a white space. These right here, much more pinched together. This one is not pinless, you have the pins on it. I gotta go with the updated 97 Wolverine on this one. Hasbro must have paid attention. They definitely made some upgrades and improvements on this. Just in case I forgot, here's his extra fist without the claws. Seeing how good the improvement of that Wolverine is. So now I'm excited to see how the other figures compare to their previous releases. First one being this Gambit that came with the 97 Wave 1. Once again, hair sculpt is on point. You really like this hair sculpt. Face sculpt is really awesome. You get those red eyes. Very cartoony face. His body's like this light pink, which maybe it's too accurate. We'll see. Trench coat is pliable. Now, unfortunately, he isn't pinless. You see the pins in his legs, so articulation is decent. You get a T out of him, a little bit more than a 90 degrees. And he also comes with this extra hand with playing cards, which we've gotten in a lot of the previous releases of Gambit. Like this one here isn't exactly a cartoon version of Gambit. It's more the comic book version, but I got it so I can have the whole roster of the team on my shelf. So you can see the difference there. This one's a lighter pink. This is a darker pink, more of a cartoon aesthetic. Wave 1 version has this bubblegum pink shirt, where this one's more of a maroonish pink shiny metallic thing going on right there. It does look like it's different molds, especially for the head, the face, the hair, even this chest piece that's up top here. This one's a wider chest piece. This one's a little bit more narrow. It does look like they might have reused the legs for this figure. So great thing is you're not just re-getting a figure you have already. It is different. Here we have this X-Men 97 Storm, which comes with our new character design for the head, for the hair, which look, the new character design in the show is going to be different. So it only makes sense that the figure will have a different design as well. Cel-shaded one from the VHS tapes has that classic look, so you already have that classic look. So yeah, it'll be good to have it updated. Both of them have that papery cape, which it's a soft goods, and this is where I'm kind of torn with soft goods because I've torn this off of this figure before, so luckily I'm going to be very careful with this one to not tear it off again. The faces are definitely different. This one has a more mature look to it. This one has a little bit younger look to it. This one also came with effects, which this one did not. This Storm didn't come with much. It came with an extra pair of fists, which I dropped one of them, so I don't know where it's at. And this review is already taking long enough, so let's move on. Now here we have the Rogue. Now this character design, since the trailer came out, has been a heated topic online because Rogue was a trendsetter in the 90s, and before Kim Kardashian and her booty craze, we had Rogue, who was the original big booty girl. And this new trailer shows she has a little bit more of a flat butt design, which look, it's weird to talk about as grown adults and men to like care that much about it, but I get it. You see other people redoing stuff, they're kind of meddling with the things they're in, and they're probably taking things out because of their own thought process, whatever. It's fine. I don't have a big issue with it, but let's look at the figure and see. Once again, I like the head sculpt on here. It doesn't really say to me the original animated series figure. The character design general is going to be different, so that's okay. As far as looking at the trailer and the artwork that we get, this matches what we have out there for the character. Pretty good. She comes with this hand that has a glove off, and she also comes with gloveless hands. You can match those up on your figure. We've gotten that before, not a big whoop. Comparison with the previous Rogue that we have right here, I mean, I don't know, this is more of a toony face, which I like. This one is more like comic book accurate, which the figure isn't from the cartoon series, so that makes sense. I do prefer this brown jacket. For some reason, she has a green jacket on, so I think the previous version is a little bit better in that aspect of it. I'm not going to touch on that part right there. The new Rogue is decent. It's good. Listen, we have options for a reason. This one matches this line. That's what it's for. Finally, that brings us to what might be the best character design in this whole lineup, and this whole wave 1 and 2 is this Bishop figure. Updated version of Bishop. He has a short haircut, and to show he has a short haircut, people get haircuts, it's okay. I really do want a version of Bishop though with that mullet. That would be cool. This guy is just stunning. He's big, he's bulky, the blue's awesome. You get this gun rack because he comes with this extra gun, slip right in there. You can do a ton of poses with him. He's gonna look great on your shelf. I love the design of his face that's on here. It looks really tough. The molding that's on there. By far, probably the best figure in the whole lineup. His articulation is great. He kicks back, he kicks butt. It's Bishop, it's great. I looked at a lot of toys today. I'm tired. There we go, you guys. We got the whole lineup right there. Wave 1 and wave 2 of this X-Men 97. I'm excited to have these figures. I'm excited for the show to come out. I'm excited if you watched all the way through this thing, and I appreciate you if you did. If you didn't, if you're just tuning in now, it's cool. I'm excited that you watched it. Hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. Watch this Open Please playlist with all the figures and reviews that I play with. Take a look at my channel, pick through them, leave a comment, say what's up. I'm tired. I looked at a lot of figures. We'll see you guys next time.